Children are perceived as abusive to their parents for very different reasons, and I've broken down to four categories I think fit most situations. The first situation is that's actually an abusive parent who's not taking accountability or responsibility for their cruelty, for the way that they have been passive aggressive, gaslighting, and highly critical of their son and daughter. That adult child has no other repercussions but to cut ties as a way to protect themselves. The second category is the opposite extreme, in which the parent has done a fine job raising that kid. Everything went well, and the other kids are launching okay, but one child in particular is highly antagonistic and difficult and has been rough to raise, and they are becoming abusive to the parent. Maybe they've been abusive all along, gaslighting, accusing, criticizing, triangulating, and smearing that parent. And they have been extremely difficult, and now they've cut that parent off as a way to say, I'm not the problem, the parent is a problem, even though they've actually been the problem all along. But then there are two other categories that often result in some form of estrangement, but for very complex reasons. One is that there's some extenuating circumstances that's happening, like, say, a death in the family or a medical illness. Maybe there's been extreme financial hardship or something else that's just caused the family to come apart, to show its strain, and as a result, everyone sort of silos themselves in silence as a way to cope with the trauma and stress. And then there's the other situation in which the adult child marries an abusive partner, and that abusive partner begins to isolate that adult child from his or her original family as a way to increase control over that adult partner. It looks the same as the abusive child, except this child's never been abusive, but they're being asked to pick sides by their new partner. And unfortunately, you as the family member, as the parent, has lost. But every situation is different, and every situation requires a different sort of modality and understanding and level of support. We make a mistake when we think everything is the same and treat it as if it's the same when it's not. So which of the situations are you experiencing with your child that's resulted in estrangement?